In the early 2000s, the Motorola Razr was the phone to have, and now it's back. It's proving so popular, Motorola is struggling to keep up with pre-orders. And joining us now is tech expert Juro Sen. Juro, tell me about it.
Well, I've brought a couple of units in. It's under top security because it's not available in Australia for a couple of more weeks, but I'm going to give one to you. It is the Motorola Razr, and this thing was hot in the early 2000s. And it was only about 350 US bucks. In Australia, they sold about $1 and a bit million in 2004. It was absolutely crazy, and everyone wanted one because it was a flip phone. So it's back, and it's pretty exciting.
It was the cool thing to do, wasn't it, for some people? It was, oh yeah, boom. But this is vastly different, isn't it? It's the full smartphone number.
It is. So the changes are the flexible screen technology and also using Android. So, but the thing is, they've been able to recapture that feeling of the early 2000s with a physical handset and that satisfaction of hanging up from someone. You know the call is over. And, you know, I was working with the Wallabies around the same time, and, you know, I remember George Gregan and that always loving this sort of thing. So it's definitely a style thing, but it is pretty cool. And there's a huge amount of buzz about it, Tim, and pre-orders were going through the roof. But $2,699. Would you pay that much?
No, it sounds prohibitive to me. It's very expensive, but I suppose when things are new, they always cost a bit.
Yeah, they do. And the great thing about it is that they've included some old features in it from the yesteryear, where the skin on the actual phone itself can become similar to the modern one, which I can't bring out here, but I've got it on overlay. So the thing is, you'll see here, look at the comparison with the old one. The old one a little bit small. There's the old StarTAC, that was from the 90s. So the evolution of the phone is all about going back to the old days, bending it, and the technology has taken 4 years to develop this technology. And a lot of companies say, see the front? I actually thought that was the old one, but that's a skin that you can pull up on the phone itself. And there it is going through all the testing. Now, they reckon that you could easily bend it, open and close it for at least a couple of years and not have any problems. It's not waterproof, Tim, so don't throw it in the ocean, but it is splash proof. And of course, the screen itself is a plastic OLED screen, but the thing is, if you take care of it, which you will mostly because you'll have it closed like this in the clamshell design, and you can use it just as it's closed up, tiny, it'll get you, you know, a long lifespan.
Did they struggle for a while, Motorola? Because I'm seeing their name come back again, but like with the growth in this space.
Yeah, definitely. And you'll notice there's Motorola Solutions. That's a company that helps out with you know, radio systems, with emergency services and things like that. Motorola, the phone company, is a different company. And but you know, they've come through to the other side, and this is huge for them, like massive. It's caused a lot of buzz already in America. There's word that some of them are getting out to the public, and you know, close to $3,000. Some people don't care. They're just going to get one.
Why now? And do you think we'll see more of the folding technology?
I think so. That's a good question, Tim, because, you know, we've seen Samsung. It's rumoured that they'll have a phone that's similar to this in a couple of weeks' time. They've had foldables before. But what it also means is that we've seen foldable technology like with our TV screens. LG's got this amazing OLED technology where they actually bend screens to a fairly significant angle. And that means that we'll be able to have TVs in columns, anywhere you can think of. This display is at all the things like CES and the tech shows I go to. It's a shame the public don't get to see this as often as we do as tech journalists, but look at that. Like, you can bend those screens. They're absolutely A-grade quality. And the thing is, once you get that technology going, these are glass, but the plastic ones will be able to bend a long way. And that means, Tim, when you get a laptop in the future, you'll be able to, and they've got a couple of prototypes, you'll be able to bend them so much that you could fit them in your pocket. So you imagine that, taking a laptop to work, and you just fold it up and put it in your pocket. That's not too far away.
Wow. And as kids head back to school last week, this week around the country, parents and students coming to terms with the mobile phone bans, and they are different in different states?
Yeah, they are, and I don't know what the rules are for, say, your kids, but some of the schools in Victoria, there's an outright ban on them, and so people are thinking, well, how do I keep in contact with their kids? And parents know that they can't have phones on all the time, but I think one of the solutions is something I showed you when it was pre-launched. It's now launched, this Move Time Watch from TCL. These things do video calling and tracking, so if you're unsure about using phones at schools, then maybe one of these is the way to go. $200, and the good thing about this thing, as you can see here in the overlay, is that you don't need a mobile plan. You just buy it and away they go. It's secure. They use Amazon Web Services on the back end, and I think these things are going to be popular. In fact, I've heard that they're going like hotcakes out of, I think, Big W.
And you don't need to be as invasive sometimes. There are all those apps, aren't they, so you can actually track where the phone is.
Exactly. So that's the phone, though. But if they have to put the phone in a locker, Tim, at least this watch is on their arm. And you wouldn't think that the kid's going to be, talking to their watch like a secret agent throughout the day.
Maxwell Smart.
But you can see how it's tracking. And if the child goes out of that geo fencing area, then you'll get a direct alert to say it. And I heard a story that, a father whose young son, he was dropping off to school. Once he got the watch, he decided, OK, it's OK now that I can put the watch on him and he can go on the bus on the way to school.
There were a couple of generations that actually got by without mobile phones at all.
Yeah, I know.
A couple of thousand.
I know. I think times have changed, Tim. Times have changed.
Now, a GoPro has just handed out GoPro has just handed out $1 million to someone in a prize for the coolest video. Tell us about this.
Yeah, so it's actually a group, Tim, and these things that came on the market last year. It's the Max, the 360 camera. You remember that when I had it on set? You can see everything around it, and the GoPro Hero 8. So it's $1 million. And it's a bit of a prize pool, but some of the vision is incredible. So if you fancied yourself as a bit of an action photographer, this stuff, just taken by punters, is extraordinary. One Australian got a share of the prize, so they got $22,500 $1 million all up, and that is to celebrate creativity. So, anyone thinks that photography and creativity is dead is kidding themselves, but they've run this the last couple of years. So, if you want to get out there and earn some cash and do a pretty cool video, then you're a chance. Look at that sort of stuff. And a lot of this is only possible with the 360 over sampling camera, which is what that big one I showed you a second ago, because you can pick any point around you. It's just the coolest thing. You can change your angles at anywhere. It is amazing stuff, and look forward to that technology improving even further down the track to like 6K, 8K, even higher.
Yeah, those pictures are just extraordinary, aren't they? Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. So one Australian guy was the winner. I would have shared it, but he's got a private Instagram.
Yeah, OK, well, $22,500. All right, we'll get off that vision.
Nice.
And we'll thank you, Giro, and I'll do this. That's a wrap.
Nice.
Didn't even get the click then.
Yeah, you've got to do the one hand, so...
Yeah.
Thanks, Tim.
Leave it to a professional. We'll see you next week, Giro.
See you, mate.
Thank you.